Revenge on my cheating fiance was bad, but the karma was brutal. Part 2. Karma, in order of appearance, thought cheated on him with his best friend, and then moved in with the dude only 2 weeks after I had left. Ouch. He got fired from his job on Christmas Eve. His boss was another mutual friend who heard about what he did to me, decided he didn't want the guy working at his video store anymore. Ouch. His truck broke down in front of an electrical station, got impounded. He didn't have enough money to get it out, since he lost his job. So he lost his truck, too. Ouch. That is pretty bad when you live in a place like Alaska, in the middle of winter. His family caught wind of what went down me and disowned him. Ouch. I thought that was pretty extreme. What did they hear? I never found out but just chalked it up to karma. After thought was gone, his remaining friends, unsurprisingly, threw another drinking party at his place. Except that this time they got DN wasted drunk, and then beat the crap out of him and threw him out of his own home into a snow berm, and locked him out. He took refuge with a neighbor, but later on he had to leave the state because he had been shunned by all his remaining friends, had no family or job or truck, etc., and was now single, without even a thought to lean on. When we spoke, he had been living in Texas and rethinking his life, and wanted to know how I was doing after our engagement friendship ended. And that was when I decided that the time was right to tell him about the baby we could have had. And then, distinguished guests, was when he started to cry, and I told him how much it sucked for me, to feel like I couldn't have told him about before for the reasons I mentioned above. And then I heard his full-on ugly cry on the other line. He was sobbing on the other line, and couldn't stop apologizing. He said, "I had no idea you were pregnant." I felt a momentary indignant rage, and sublimated it with another poker face moment, in my matter-of-fact, emotionless response. "We had sex, so it's not like it was impossible for that to happen. I tried to tell you. At the time, it was more important for you to confess your horrible choice than listen to my news. You didn't have any idea that I was pregnant because you didn't care to know. You didn't even ask." More sobs on the other end of the line, and more apologies than I've ever heard in my life from anyone. I ended our call by saying, "It's really okay, I don't hate you." I wanted to say I pity you, but held my tongue. Things are better for me now. I'm married, and we just found out that we are pregnant with our first child. Anyway, it's really been nice catching up with you, and finding out what happened with your life. Sorry to hear it's been difficult. Let's keep in touch." He didn't. I don't know why he bothered contacting me in the first place, because he must have had some idea how the call was going to go down, but he probably wasn't counting on finding out that he could have been a father, and we could have had a family together, if only he hadn't crushed the heart of someone who actually cared about him. In hindsight, that relationship was nothing more than me confusing his charm, his words, and my infatuation and pining away for actual love. I spent so much time wondering and questioning what I had done to deserve him doing all of that to me. What I didn't realize was that he didn't do any of that because of me, or to punish me for any reason. He did all of that because the only person he had been thinking about was himself. It took me many more years before I would learn how to identify narcissistic behavior, and now, looking back, I realized that I had narrowly escaped getting myself stuck in Alaska and romantically committed to a person who has little capacity for empathy, and doesn't feel remorse when he wrongs someone. I learned how to get revenge by maintaining my grace and composure, stating only the facts, keeping my emotions to myself and my demeanor together, just long enough to plant doubt in the heart of the new other woman. 5 years after he crushed my heart, he cried enough to fill a bottle with his tears, and my satisfaction poured it over the flowers on the grave of our tiny, dead fetus. I'm sorry, baby. TLDR, the super short version, my fiance cheated on me, so I got revenge by seducing the other woman. TLDR, the mini novel, I confessed to a childhood friend that I had feelings for him. He reciprocated, proposed to me, then within a day of me finding out I was pregnant with our baby, he confessed that he cheated on me before I could tell him about the pregnancy. I miscarried and decided to hurt him as bad as he hurt me, by seducing his stress. She left him for his best friend a couple of weeks later. Then, by the magical combination of word traveling through our circle of friends, and some really powerful karma, He was disowned by his family, got fired from his job on Christmas Eve, his truck broke down and got impounded, and he couldn't afford to recover it. And then all of his friends got him wasted and threw him out of his own home into the snow. He had to leave the state following his fall from grace. He got in touch 5 years later just to tell me about it, for me to tell him, finally, about our dead fetus, and that I had moved on, got married, and was pregnant and starting a family with my husband. Edit, corrected a bit of word salad. Edit 2, thank you kind strangers, for silver and gold. Also, to the 1 PMing to call me a bitch, yes, I know, it's what my friends and loved ones appreciate about me, especially my boss. I'm mad about it. At least the people in my life truly know who I am and what my morals, ethics, and principles are. Edit 3, Platinum, 2. Thank you. Edit 4, good God, I apologize for the formatting. English is my first language. I got a good enough diploma when I was 16 so that I could move out on my own and leave Alaska. I'm very lucky to have a good job, no drinking drug problems, and all of my teeth. If you learn nothing else from me today, Redditors reactions. Redditor 1, wow. Redditor 2, wow. You mic dropped 5 years later. Karma did all the work for you. You don't deserve this Ashol. I hope you found the love and happiness you've always longed for. Redditor 3, I do not know why the best part of this revenge is you dropping that miscarriage on him 5 years later, but it is. I would not have your patience, but revenge is, apparently a dish best served 5 years cold. Edit, small typo, Redditor 4, the fact that you were able to maintain your composure for 2 weeks while being in the same vicinity as him amazes me. Good essay. Redditor 5, your story fulfilled every revenge fantasy I ever had. Now time to unsubscribe. Redditor 6, that's the kind of thing that can destroy a person, especially if they were trying to clean themselves up and make amends for all the s that they did in the past. Though that what he did was bad, that he had paid for it and was coming clean, but then suddenly found out that what he thought was the bulk of his BLLS, it was just the tip of an iceberg of horribleness that he had no idea about. All of a sudden, he had to deal with a much bigger loss than he could have imagined. I shouldn't have treated her like it ruined my life, too. I could have had a loving family if I has just shut my mouth for a few seconds. Redditor 7, moved on, moved up from the narcissist and living life well. That is excellent revenge. Bonus, Karma, she's a great lady, did all the heavy lifting and meting out justice in your favor. Redditor 8, flawless victory. Redditor 9, nice revenge, even if most of it is karma that was not your own actual revenge. Also, am I the only one who cannot figure out what thought stands for? Redditor 10, everyone is patting you on the back, congratulating you. Well, it is a revenge forum. But you come across as a bit of an ashole, and maybe one with sociopathic tendencies of your own.